Hey Piper, volume back up on this thing. I was playing my farm game earlier and it's so loud. It can get loud, so I turned the volume down, but I like to turn it back up. Hope everybody's doing good. A little housekeeping. I'm smoking one of my favorites. I was going to smoke something different tonight and kind of that I hadn't smoked in a long time, or maybe had never smoked. But I said, I'm just in one of those moods. I'm gonna just smoke one that tried and true, and that's the newfound top favorite. One of my favorites is Mac Baren Honey and Chocolate, and I'm smoking it in a little Aldo Villani vent blasted Dublin. That I've had this in probably about 3 years. I bought it at the pipe and tobacco shop and pipe and cigar shop in Little Rock, Arkansas. I usually get up there about twice a year. On my treks to my dad's cabin, I get to the cabin about 4 times a year. A lot of times he and I go up and just do a little work stuff a couple of times, and we go up a couple of times just more for pleasure, just to sightsee. But a couple of trips up is usually working trips, so because there is a certain amount of maintenance. But so I usually manage at least once a year or twice a year to make it by the pipe shop there. And they got some good blends there. I always stock up on Wilshire, a little light aromatic. But drew a blank on what I was going to say. Hadn't been hardly nothing happening here today. I'll tell you. Y'all ever have one of them days where you got a dozen things you need to do, and you didn't get a single one of them accomplished because you were just lazy? And I hold up today. We're closed on Mondays, and I could have made a day of things I needed to do. I got terribly needed to finish getting ready or to work toward getting ready for the Boy Scout deal with the food trailer this weekend. I had things in the yard I needed to do. I've got a Bradford pear tree. Bradford pear doesn't bear fruit, but I love the way they look. They bloom in the spring and fall, and needed to trim a couple of limbs on it, and crepe myrtle that needed topping out and trimming. Some other things that just I've got a toilet that I need to replace the insides of. I could have thought of any number of things to do, but y'all ever have them days? Well, it seems like this winter it's been a much harder winter than normal, so we've gotten used to holding up in the house, and I got to break that. I got to get out of that habit, and I got to break myself from this because I've just gotten used to not. And I talked to my dad today, and he done the same thing. He was going out to plant some early onions. At least he did get out of the house, but he's gotten in that habit too, and it's unusual because he loves working out in the yard. He loves fooling with his tractors. He's got a couple of tractors that that's his hobby, is getting out there on his place and playing on his tractors and burning. You give that man a 5-gallon can of diesel and he thinks it's Christmas. Because he's forever got a brush pile going somewhere. He's got probably 6-7 acres out where they live, about 7 probably, and he's constantly piddling with something. But like I say, this winter's been tough, and he hadn't been able to get out either. And it's been a little tough for him to get back in the groove, but I hadn't been smoking this pipe. I picked it back up a couple of days ago, and I don't know why. It's an excellent little smoker. I tend to gravitate to the straight pipe rather than vent. I don't know why I like a vent pipe. I just and this is not one of the expensive Aldos. You can buy this one for around $50. Most of their pipes tend to run in the $50 to $80 range. They've got some that's around the 200 mark, but they're a good middle of the road, lesser priced pipe. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of them are great smokers. 2 of them are pretty good. I haven't seen anything out of Piper Phil in a few days. Anybody heard from him? Phil, if you're watching, I hope you're doing good. What I spent, I feel so bad when I spend these days just holed up. I was on the computer all day and just did nothing. And I feel like I've taken a beating, you know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, it's just depressing to stay inside the house. You need to get out. And, you know, you start staying in and holding up, then you start thinking about life's problems and the problems you're facing, and worried about tomorrow, and worried about, you know, next month, and worried about. And we're not supposed to worry. You know, I'm not trying to preach, but the Bible tells us not to worry. God takes care of us, and He does. And but sometimes I surely need to. I really need to practice taking that advice, or I'm a worrier by nature. And if I don't stay busy, boy, I can bring myself down. Just everything pops in my mind, you know. I got to go back Thursday, time for that monthly doctor's visit. Actually, it's about 4 or 5 days early, but I can't go next week, and I've got so much going on, so I'm gonna have to go Thursday, which will be fine. If it's an issue with them, they'll just post date the prescription. You know, so a couple times over the years, last couple of years, once or twice when I just had to go, I couldn't go. You know, I had to go 2 or 3 days before or 4. He said, well, I can't, you know, it's a little early. And I said, well, I'm not here to get them early. I just, you know, it's the only day I can come in. And I said, can't you just put the date forward on them? And he said, yeah, I can do that. So if it gives them any issue, that's what I'm going to do. But I just cannot get in next week. I've got too much going on. I've got most of the generator ready to go. I've got to go get some non-ethanol gas. I'm not going to put the conventional gas in it. And that's another thing I should have been doing, is finishing that up. And I need to change the oil on my lawnmower too. And it's got nearly a flat on it. I don't know if it's got a leak or just sat there and went down, but it's about half flat. I got to air that up. And I may have to wind up taking it off and taking it to my dad's tire center and having them patch it or whatever. But hoping I can get a couple more seasons out of that lawnmower. It's a Poland. It's just a little small yard, smaller one. You know, it's like a little Craftsman or something, but I have not taken care of it. But anywho, Emily had to go to dance practice this evening. My wife took her. I think they stopped at Mickey D's. I just put in a frozen pizza. I think I've told y'all this before. I love to take a frozen pizza and doctor it up a little bit, especially the Tony's. These I had tonight was Tombstone. The little market around the corner doesn't carry the Tony's, and the Tony's is my favorite. I like the sausage and pepperoni on it, but they don't carry. They carry Tombstone, DiGiorno, and the little Totino's, the little El Cheapo, and so I got the Tombstone 4 meat. I didn't do anything to it tonight, but most of the time I'll chop up some onion, put on it, throw some jalapenos on there occasionally, or some green olives, or might even add a little Canadian bacon, or even some bacon. Might even fry up some bacon, put on it. I have crumbled up some Owens or Jimmy Dean hot sausage, breakfast sausage, browned it, and then put it on, topped it with a little mozzarella cheese. Sometimes I'll buy just a plain cheese Tony's. Then you can buy that pizza for under $3, and they're thin and crispy. And sometimes I have bought just a cheese pizza and doctored it up myself, you know. Little pizza house here in town, Johnny's. And somebody told me the other day, yesterday, I always get off on food and make them hungry. That's another one of my pastimes is eating. You can look at it and tell I'm a connoisseur. But Johnny's has one called a Sweep the Kitchen. It's got everything on it, and it's pretty decent. Other than that, I'm a Pizza Hut or a Pizza Inn. Boy, they used to have a bunch of them around here when I was a kid and a teenager. There's one little town about 25 miles from here. Well, Pipe Pappy, Ruston, still has one. We go over there from time to time and grab a pizza. Another one that's in this part of the country, Pipe Pappy, you probably got them over where you are, and that is Mazzio's. I love a Mazzio's. And we don't have one here. We got one in my hometown where I'm from, where my dad grew up. Of course, I'm from there. I was 2 years old when we moved here, but a little town in Crossett, Arkansas. So we have to go back to the old hometown occasionally. It's about the only thing there to eat decent, you know. Other than your run-of-the-mill McDonald's and Popeyes and Sonic and that kind of crap, you know. Of course, unfortunately, we only get back anymore for a funeral. That's about the only time we get back up there. My dad's brother passed away. Well, actually, a few months back, I've only got a couple of cousins left up there now. There's no reason to go back, but sure miss going to see my grandfather. My grandmother, actually, she was my step-grandmother. My grandmother died about 2 years before I was born, young woman, 49. Had a stroke and didn't take her medicine right, and guess I got that from her. But she, I sent out to the house to bring her medicine. She had a stroke. They put her on medicine. She was doing great. She had another one, and it was a bad one. My dad brought her medicine in. They'd asked to bring it in, and out of a month's supply, she should have taken like 25 tablets that month, and she'd taken 3 all month. Just didn't take her medicine. And she was pretty much in a coma for about 8-9 months. That was in 1963. But my step-grandmother reminded me of Aunt Bee on Andy Griffith. Believe it or not, we talking about Andy, and always enjoyed going up there. She wore her hair like Aunt Bee. She was kind of big. Yep. I tell you, you know, and I tell my son all the time, and of course he's good about calling my dad. I said, you need to call my mom. I said, you need to call Papa and Mama, because one of these days they're not going to be there. And I can promise you'll get to missing them, and wishing one day you could and call them or go see them. It happens. And Mom and Dad, you know, I'm guilty of that too. I try to call them every day, though. I don't see them every day, even though they only live 3 miles from me, but I try to call every day. Well, another 15 minutes is down, friends. Just been a laid-back smoke. Enjoyed it with y'all. We'll try to catch y'all tomorrow night. Y'all have a good night, and God bless.